Hello, everyone. This is Corinna Arnold, and this is your October energy reading. So that being said, here we are again. Another month has gone by. Usually I would try to get this video out a little bit sooner, but unfortunately I was down and out with the flu for a couple weeks. And that was, other than my other medical stuff I was going through, um, the sickest I've been with the flu in probably over 15 years. So I am still in a bit of a recovery mode. You might be able to tell I'm a little bit stuffed up still, a little bit froggy. My voice might go a little bit froggy, but we're getting there as the body does. The body has the ability to heal, and I 100% know that and trust that. And sometimes it just takes a little bit extra time to do so. So we're here. We're here to tune into the October energy, to see what it is that Spirit most needs us to know to really help us navigate to our best and highest lives, the best and highest potential, the best and highest timeline. And there's a remembrance here of something I can hear them wanting to talk to you about, remembering to be intentional about, sorry, I've got a hair stuck in my eye now, it's poking it. They're reminding us all to be intentional in wanting to align with the highest timeline possible. What can sometimes happen is, and I'm seeing this happen with some of the people around me, is, we all make choices. We have free will here. And so what's happened, or what's starting to happen, is there are obviously lots of different levels of timelines available to us at all time. And we can choose intentionally to be part of a higher timeline, a lower timeline, whatever it is we need to experience, right? So there's some things that are definitely written in for you, some experiences that your soul wants you to participate in. There is the intentional piece of the free will piece in your experience here, where you can be very clear on wanting to align your energy with the highest possible outcome and timeline for yourself, for your family, for the world, for the earth. And that clarity and that intention matters, and because it does pull you energetically into that timeline, or gives you opportunities to clarify your energy so you can step into those timelines. I'm hearing sometimes it will bring you lessons that you need in order to move through old karma, old programming, so you can move into that higher timeline. So that doesn't mean automatically we get into a kumbaya state and everything's perfect. But when we're intentional, if you want to achieve that highest sense of that higher level experience, let's put it that way, and you set your intention for that, sometimes things can start to go awry in order for you to get there. Okay. And what I'm hearing right now is, in some ways, that's what the earth is doing right now, with Mother Earth's intention to get to a higher timeline, to get to a higher energetic experience. There are lessons coming for the collective. There are lessons we're participating in. There's some things that need to fall away so we can move into that higher space. And there'll be various timelines with various vibrational experiences of being here on Earth. But those of us that are wanting to go on the ride of the higher timeline, and they said it's neither here nor there of how you choose to live your existence and your experience and your learning, because you're always learning. There is this, they're just starting. I haven't even pulled a card, and they're talking away here. So there's sometimes this what they're calling a spiritual guru dogma that tends to happen, that I am better because I am in a higher timeline. And what they're wanting to remind everyone is that's not necessarily true. That those that come with the highest level of intentionality and the highest level of wanting to achieve spiritual growth in some ways choose unconsciously to stay in those lower timelines to help facilitate growth, to help facilitate their own soul's growth, the earth's growth, other souls around them's growth. So there's always choice points that we make as souls when we come in about how we wish to contribute and where we wish to contribute. And there's no hierarchy in that. One is not less than, one is not better than. Part of their message right now in this month is please stop comparing yourself to others about where someone is versus where you are. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be and work to, or they're saying, work to come into a higher perspective where you're able to see all of the causalities they're talking about, all of the things that are interconnected as to the bigger why you may be experiencing some things in your life right now. But they're for some reason, they're really putting a focus on stop looking outside yourself where I wish I was where she is. I wish I were where he is. I wish that I had more of this. I wish that I was experiencing that like that person. Continue to trust that you're exactly where you need to be. And even if you wanted to shift into that, you can't until you fully embody and experience where you are now. There's this fully embodied energy that has to happen where you fully integrate and accept everything that is showing up for you, everything that is internally within you that needs to be addressed. They just said to me, you can't skip a step in this process. Yeah, they just said it just doesn't work that way. So the focus right now is on full embodiment and full integration of where you are and what is here and what is showing up for you right now. Again, there's that froggy stuff, so you'll have to be patient with me. And they just said that there will be lots of things October, November, December that are going to show up, that are a reflection of those things that internally we all have to sit within. Nothing happens externally outside ourselves. It's not collectively happening within ourselves. And so the more of us that can fully embody, fully accept all those different varying parts of ourselves, our fears, our what we think of as our weaknesses, what we would like to grow into or grow out of, our pain, what is still sitting with us, what still triggers us, not pushing it away, but fully embodying it and accepting it for what it is, loving it for what it is. That's the piece they said, hold on to that because that's the key for others to shift as well. Not only is that the key for you to shift, but when you're fully embodied, they're showing me like this energetic body. And what happens is when you fully embody and accept everything that's showing up for you in that moment, even the hard and difficult things, fully feeling into it, fully feeling the grief of it, fully feeling the pain of it, fully feeling the joy of it, fully feeling the love of it. What is it that's showing up for you? When it's almost like we get to a fully, what they're showing me, it's hard for me to explain, but it's like your energy body gets fully saturated. There's like no holes, we are fully embodied. Our energy is fully contained in the sense where we're accepting it, we're loving it, we're learning through it, we're not pushing it away. And what they're showing me is that is when energetically we can shift to another experience where we can embody this another another experience is what they're saying. So energetically, we have to get to the saturation point, and then once we're fully embodied, fully accepting, fully loving, fully saturated into this who we are in the moment, that is how we are able to shift. Our vibration shifts higher, and then we fully saturate again, and our vibration shifts higher. And they said it can also happen the other way. Um, and so that is a reflection of what's happening here on Mother Earth right now. There is this full embodiment of having to see the full truth. And so you're going to see lots of things coming out, lots of truths coming out. Again, discernment, make sure that it's actually speaking to your heart, that you think this is actually, oh, this feels true to me. But this is what's happening. This fully awakened realization is transpiring here, where all these things that have been hidden, within ourselves, within the collective, are all now coming to be exposed with the potential to be fully embodied, to witness the truth, to witness the trauma, to witness the pain, to witness what we have been ignoring that needs to be addressed and changed. To fully see what we have allowed as a collective to take place here on Earth, which are quite honestly, some very devastating and dark things at times. Obviously, lots of beautiful things as well, but we have to see it. We have to feel it. We have to feel the pain of it. We have to mourn it. We have to mourn the fact that our children are being traumatized, uh, that there are wars, that people are being brutalized, that rights have sometimes been removed from people in an attempt to control. There's all these things that we're needing to see now, and that is what's happening. And it will bring lots of emotion to the table. They are saying you will see the reverberation of emotion, because that's, as human beings, our gift, in a response to what is now being seen. Emotions will run high. And they're saying in the next few months, you're going to see that very clearly. We will have an emotional, visceral reaction to what is transpiring, which will ultimately lead to the potential of mastery in understanding how emotions are tools and understanding how emotions clear energy rather than letting them run amok, because sometimes they say that's what we do. There is a mastery potential that can come in, that we fully embody these emotions, we fully embrace the pain, we fully embrace what we're witnessing and what then is coming up. Maybe it's even divine anger. And now what do we do? How do we utilize this energy to shift into a deeper understanding, to shift into a deeper level of compassion, to shift into change, using it as a change agent? They've talked about that through me before as well. Using those moments as change agents, recognizing that the emotion we're feeling, whether it's anger, whether it's pain, whether it's frustration, whether it's sadness, whether it's whatever it is, joy, love, what is that telling us about what we need to shift, to change, to accept, to embrace? There will be much of that transpiring, and October will be heightened, November will be heightened more. December, I don't feel really clear. It depends on what happens in October and November, as timelines are constantly shifting. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to pull some cards from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. And I just heard two cards, so I'm going to pull two cards here. What it is we most need to know in addition to that initial message they just gave us. I just heard choose joy wherever you can. If it's becoming too overwhelming outside of yourself, because there are certain things we cannot control and change, our little piece is to find those things that then bring us joy and love, because that energy does move out into the collective. So we cannot be ultimately responsible for holding all the world's pain, trauma, Individually, if we're in the midst of that, we are experiencing war as individuals, we're experiencing trauma as individuals, then we have the responsibility to respond, to navigate through that experience. Some of you might be called to do other things, donate, pray, whatever. But they're also saying ultimately, if you're not immediately within that vicinity of where things are transpiring, other than sending love, the highest intentionality can be living in your own joy, creating your own reality of joy. It doesn't mean you ignore it. If you're called to do something, do it. But the greatest gift we can give is living in our highest vibrational experience. So focusing on joyful moments, focusing on what brings you joy. They're showing me that that's every little bit helps, every little light that's lit, every vibration of love, every time you hug someone, that all goes out into the collective too. To help balance is what they just said. It helps balance and find balance. Okay, back to 2 cards here. Yeah, there you go. So focus on the inner peace. For those of us that might not be in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the hurricane, in the midst of the war, focus on what brings you joy. Focus on what brings you peace. That energy will matter. That energy impacts the collective. That energy, they're showing me what it's doing is it's creating a portal of hope. It's creating a portal of energy that others can tie into. They're like, almost showing me like, uh, like carriages, like being able to hook their carriages into that light. So it's pulling them forward and pulling them through. And the more of that light that's created in the collective, the more they have the opportunity to actually tap into it, to actually be the way forward. Not only to give them the energy they need to do to make that shift and change if they're in an area that's under a level of devastation, but it allows them to, it's like you're the combustion engine that's going to help them move out of that. Because they're showing me like an engine now, and it's like you're adding steam and you're adding energy, and the more hope and the more joy that you live, the more you find inner peace within yourself. And if that means turning off the news, if that means doing what you need to do for your own balance and kind of living in your own little reality right now, they said that is perfectly fine. That is actually contributing to the collective still. There's this feeling sometimes as being an empath of guilt because we want to change it. We don't want to see anyone in pain. We don't want to see anyone suffer. And so we feel by connecting into that, by lending our pain to it, by lending our um, compassion, our empathy, but sometimes that gets tricky because we start to feel feel the sadness. We start to feel the devastation. Um, they're saying you just have to be careful with that. It's a careful balancing point where that is information that comes in, but you don't need to hook your wagon to it, is what they just said to me. There's something here about hooking wagons to certain things. They're using this kind of as a metaphor, but don't hook your wagon to that energy. Hook your wagon to the light, hook your wagon to the joy as much as you can, and be that combustion engine that's moving the energy in another direction, if that makes sense. Because they're like, I can hear that tick, 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 tick. I don't feel like we're moving yet. I feel like we're building the energy to move. And so as we all are contributing, they're showing me, throwing coal on the fire in the steam engine. Each individual, like what they're showing me is this huge line of people that are waiting, and they're going to be throwing their wood in, their coal in. And that is, the joy and the love and the inner peace and the knowingness, holding a knowingness that all will be well, holding it, holding that hope energy, knowing in every fiber of your being all that is transpiring, everything will be okay. And you do that by experiencing okayness in your everyday life as much as possible, self-care as much as possible, finding that inner peace, focusing on blessings. How beautiful are these messages? Focus on the blessings that are around you every day. Everything is fueling that fire, then that combustion engine, all of that hope, all of that energy, because they are saying that there are many beautiful things happening. What's happening is we have distraction energy that is keeping us focused on there is devastating things happening. There are people suffering, and that's not to be ignored where we can help. What happens is it you're connecting your energy into something that's not going to take you anywhere, and it's not going to take the collective anywhere. So when you focus on those things and come back into the moment and take a breath and go into a gratitude, they're talking about if everyone could just start a gratitude journal again, if anyone could just, as they're going to sleep, your top 3 things that you were grateful for today. Continue to move that energy forward. Continue to stoke your engines with that, focusing on the blessings, whether it's a beautiful bird, a beautiful flower that you just saw, sending it love, sending it gratitude for showing up for you, sending gratitude for yourself for being a witness in that moment, being thankful that you slowed down enough to actually witness the blessings that are around you. There are blessings through every experience. There's blessings through every moment. Every single moment. Right now, I'm sitting here and I've got a light catcher, and I could see the prisms, the rainbows all over the wall here. I wish I could turn my camera around so you could see that. My beautiful dog Maggie laying beside me in the sun. These are the things, these are the joyful moments if we're present enough to see them. When we're not present, we get stuck in our minds and we get lost. We get lost in the devastation. Stoke the fire, stoke the engine. And again, I keep hearing chick, 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 like it's ready to go. This new energy is raring and ready to go. And I just see lots of people willing to stoke the engine. Like I could see what they're showing me is miles and miles of people holding their light, holding their coal, holding their firewood, that are willing to stoke this engine, that are willing to move this energy forward. And they just said, and we hope you will be one. I'm using mostly the same decks that I used yesterday, but I was guided to use a different deck, so we'll see. Right now, they want me to connect into the Ancestors and Angels deck. I heard one card from here. So just pull one card. Yeah. So we got the High Priestess card. Did we get that last time? Maybe not. Harness the mystic power. Drawn here more to the Merkaba here. And I'm also drawn to the female energy. As we know, as they've talked about this divine feminine energy that's rising, again, there's the women, they're moving energy. I almost feel like they're the ones that are not going to stand for certain things. They're the ones that are going to finally speak the truth. They're the ones that are going to come out and stand up for what's right. Because I'm feeling the Merkaba energy, this power symbol, and I keep seeing it spinning around the female energy. So there's this energy that's coming up, and remembrance that whether you're male or female, the female divine energy, just like the male energy, sits in everyone. But what they're showing me is in the center of this, in the center of everyone's being, this Merkaba energy is starting to move. and it's moving faster and faster and faster. And I also see it around certain people, so they're in their center of it, but it's starting to move, and this energy is starting to spin higher and higher and higher. And they're wanting you to tap in. They're wanting you to tap into your own power, understanding as human beings, we have a very special, unique, they're calling energy grid, energy power, which likes to be controlled in some ways because it is so powerful. But remember that you are the co-creators, that you are powerful beings of light, and that you have the ability to shift anything, to heal anything, to be anything. And they said, and that is true because look at all that you have co-created already. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the divine creator. You are the one that's co-creating with the divine. There's a power in humanity that, again, they're going back to, it's like they're showing us all like these battery packs that are like really powerful, and there's an attempt to deplete the energy in a variety of ways. But I just don't feel that that's going to happen anymore. I feel like there's a tapping into this energy, this knowing, this remembrance of, what we are as divine beings, and this magnificent, this unique DNA vibrational cocktail, they want to call it, of humanity is special in the way we generate energy, in the way we co-create. And that's what we're going to start learning. That's what we're going to start learning. Don't forget how powerful you are. Don't forget the little things matter, is what they just said to me. Again, focusing on those blessings, focusing on gratitude, finding inner peace, whatever that is, just being quiet, whether it's being quiet and watching fish in a fish tank, watching the birds outside, meditating more intentionally, going for a walk, a meditative walk, and just listening to the sounds around you. Again, not distracted by not being distracted by podcasts, yeah, there's just so much distraction right now. It's like we have, as a collective, what they're talking about is there's been a discomfort in being us. We are being distracted from being connected to the true sense of who we are and our connection to divinity. And these distractions, although it's all wonderful and we all like, we all love listening to music and we all love podcasts but even in myself, I notice I'm always feeling like I need to connect, to listen, um, and I'm questioning why do I feel I need to do that? Because in those quiet moments is when I actually hear the truth, when I'm actually connecting to what's rising within myself. There's an avoidance technique that can happen through distraction energy as well, because we're wanting to avoid in one way. And we do that in a myriad of ways, whether it's drinking too much, eating too much, smoking too much, taking drugs, too much podcast listening, too much TV, too much of excess is not good. But there's distraction energy that we are participating in as a collective, which works for some agendas, and they're happy about that. But avoiding the truths of what's sitting here to get to full level of embodiment, you can only avoid for so long. And this is also, they said, what you're seeing on Earth right now, no more avoidance. You can only avoid things for so long, and then they rise to the surface, as any of us who have hit a certain level and age in our lives know to be true, whether that's physical health or mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, psychological health. It gets to a boiling point, and then it just starts to overflow, and you don't have much of a choice. You have to listen anyways. And there's potential for shift in that if you want to utilize those moments as such. I'm curious about this new deck, but I don't feel like I'm supposed to pull a card from there yet. So I'm going to go to Sacred Rebel by Alana Fairchild. And I just read two cards from this deck. What else do you want us to know about October, please? And I just heard just a reminder to listen as you're listening to this. Take what you can, leave what doesn't resonate with you. It's all okay. Okay. It's always a message that usually comes through, but I just heard it again, so I just want to reiterate. They are perfectly fine with that because we're all on our own journeys. You have to listen to your own truth, and I might not be interpreting it 100% correctly either. So discernment, what makes sense for you, right? All right, two cards from this deck. Oh, interesting. So we just got after the storm. Big, bold vision. Big, bold vision. It's interesting because it's a message I've personally been getting. So this must be something, obviously, we're all tied to the collective, about the fact that there's not a real clear vision being held yet. I feel it even in myself in my own life. Part of it was because everything else I was embodying and experiencing and going through. But I've always had very clear visions in the past about where life is taking me, where my next step is. Um, and sometimes you have to just kind of slow all that down and do other types of work for a while as you build a vision. And I feel as a collective, what they're showing me is that's also what we're doing right now, as all of this is being exposed, as things are coming to light, as things are needing to be witnessed and healed. There also is, in conjunction to that, we can't lose sight of the fact that we need to hold a vision. We need, as a collective, to know where we're going. And our leadership doesn't have one in place. They are more what I feel like this knee-jerk reaction, responding, others' agendas being met more than what's for the best and highest good sometimes. Not always. I want to make that clear. Not always. Not all is as terrible as sometimes it's projected out to be or what we're hearing. There are people with higher levels of intentionality that want the best for humanity. I want to say that, and they want to make sure I'm saying that. Not all is lost. They just said not all is lost. But as we're going through some chaotic times, some kind of real high levels of up and down, one of the most important pieces, whether it's internally within your life or externally without into the world, there's a requirement to become really clear and intentional for what you're trying to co-create. And I feel from now until the end of the year, that is an important piece of this puzzle. We usually tie January into what is my intention for the new year. What they're saying is that needs to come more to the forefront. They're showing me pushing it forward, letting the other stuff go into the background. We need to be more clear about what is our intention going forward. What do we want to see going forward? And they want to encourage you, because they love the wording of this, big, bold vision. Don't think small, whether it's for your own life, whether it's for the collective. Hold the highest level of potentiality. Hold a big, bold vision. Do you know how powerful you are as a collective? They just said, do you know how powerful you are as an individual? Hold a higher, bolder, stronger vision. Hold a bolder vision. They just said to me, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach for the stars. And I can hear some of you saying, oh, yeah, but how do you even get there? How do you even get there? And they just said to me, it's none of your business. Because the universe will bring all those opportunities for you to get there. The universe will bring all those opportunities for the collective, for the earth to get there. And some of that might be through hard times, personally or through the collective, to maneuver and get you to where you need to be. Some of it will be through just joyful moments and opportune moments and great people coming into your life and great experiences, and be open to all of that. Don't tie into the how as much as the what, where you want to be, where you want to see the collective. So when you see these things going on in Earth, immediately tap into, I understand we're here. I send that love. I send help where I can. I send peace. Maybe I send money. I send this, whatever. I volunteer when I feel I'm guided to. But above all that, I choose love. Above all that, I hear the Whitney song. But above all that, I wish you love. That's what I'm hearing. Hold a higher vision. See the world at peace. See your biggest dreams coming true. Um, Hold a higher vision for yourself. See your body fully healed if you're having health issues. Envision that every single day, every single day. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise, I am energetic, but see it and feel it. See it in your mind's eye, and we need that for the earth as well. Where leadership is coming together peacefully, where leadership is finding peaceful resolutions to things. Know that it's possible, know that it can be true, and hold a higher vision. Be bold in it. Do not play small right now. Do not play small. When all these storms are going on and the chaos is going on, hold a higher vision. Believe in that higher vision, whether it's internally within your own world, whether it's externally for the collective, whatever you have energy to lean into right now. Hold a higher vision. Don't be afraid to dream big. I just said that again. Don't be afraid to dream big. Dream big for the collective. Dream big for yourself. Know that all is possible. Know that all is true. Know that when they said that to me, know that all is true. What I felt and what they showed me a little bit more is because it is already true. In some place energetically, that has already been created for you. And they said, can you believe that? Do you believe that? Because the believability of that is what shifts you into that. Do you know that biggest dream for you has already been energetically created somewhere for you already? Somewhere for the collective already. That's already happening. And your job is to get out of the way and allow the universe to take you. Don't be afraid to dream big. Stay open to possibility, stay open to opportunity. Sometimes, especially they're talking about political establishments and government, what often you hear people say is what they're saying to me. Oh, and often well, it's all corrupt. It's all this, it's all that. It's never going to change. Government is always like this. And they're really wanting to say, is that true? Is there another possibility? And can we tap into that possibility and believe that it can happen? So when we see things repeatedly happening, can we shift the language? Can we shift our vision? Can we shift to actually projecting out, oh, I know it's possible in other ways possible because I've seen it, I've felt it. I see our leaders, in collaboration. I feel the hearts of our leaders coming forward and wanting the best for humanity. I feel that the right people will come into power. I know that this is true. I know that this is possible. I know that it already exists, and I choose to tap into that alignment, that reality. what they're saying is we've gotten into habits of old paradigm where we have surrendered into a toxic belief system that things don't change, that this is just the way it is. We have crappy government, we have this, what can you do about it? Because it seems so overwhelming for the little old me, they said. But if you remember how powerful you are, hold it and in combined with the divine energy of what it can co-create with you, there is always the possibility that there is something more, something possible, something better, something higher in alignment. They just said again, stop thinking small, stop thinking small, stop surrendering into old patterns and old paradigms. Because what they're showing me is, thousands of years ago and now, do you think that those people thousands of years ago would believe that we would have, I could be talking to you on a screen. I could be talking to hundreds of people all at once, that we can tap into a phone and click a few words and see any information we wanted to. Those people that were living in caves could not even fathom that reality, could not have even envisioned that reality. Yet it's come true. Yet it is here. So we've gotten into this pattern, this paradigm of surrendering into being little, surrendering into the status quo. And they're really challenging us on that. Can you actually surrender into possibility? Can you surrender into something higher and better? Can you know in every fiber of your being that it will work out, that you will physically get better, that you will mentally get better, that the world will get better? Whatever it is you are working through right now, fully embodying, fully feeling, fully seeing outside yourself, witnessing, experiencing, worrying about all those things. Do you know in every fiber of your being that there's something impossible? And when you doubt, go back to remembering those people when we used to live in caves and we were scribbling on walls. Could not have even fathomed what is happening on Earth today. It wouldn't even bumped up into their reality. So know that in the future, in another timeline, there are things that are happening that are so peaceful, so loving, so expansive, so joyful, sometimes so continuing to be so challenging, but in different ways. That is all possible. So two more cards, and then I'm going to get into a prayer card for us, I think. Two cards. What else is it that we most need to know for the energy of October? I just heard be patient with yourselves as you're going through different transitions in your life. Be patient. We all want things to change on a dime. You're showing me like twirling of a dime. Like we want to change, we want it to change very quickly and in a very short, thin timeline. Sometimes it requires a little bit more space. Be patient. Be patient with how things are showing up for you. Know that it's true that they will. Two cards. They also just said to me, sometimes what happens too, because it's part of the catch-22, and again, programming, where of this instant gratification thing, where we've been programmed to have everything instantly at our fingertips, or to have our deliveries instantly. Like it's going to be here in 2 hours. It's going to be here and next day. If you think about, I'm in my 50s. If you think about back in the day, you had to save to get things. You had to go out. I can remember walking to a mall as a girl. It took me an hour to walk, hour and a half just to get to the mall, just to potentially, find a pair of earrings or something. Um, and even then, you had to save for it, and you had to. We live in a world of I want it now. It's instant gratification, and if that's not happening, why they're telling me this is they're showing me because we've kind of tuned into that programming in a very in a very intense level, and it's feeding. When you're scrolling and you want the next thing and the next dopamine hit and the next laugh and the next this. Um, what it's taking us out of, well, what it's contributing to is you see it didn't show up tomorrow, so it's never going to show up. And so there's this believability that starts to happen internally that things will never change. Does this make sense to you? I hope I'm explaining what they're showing me and telling me. This programming of instant gratification um, is really feeding into this false narrative that because we don't see it change instantly, it's never going to change. And that is not true. When you think about everything that needs to happen for something to change, even within your own body, for example, and your intention is to heal something, if you think about the millions and billions of cells that would have to shift chemically or something, and your liver has to do a certain thing, and your kidneys have to do a certain thing, and your heart has to do a certain thing, and you've been so out of balance for so long, it takes time for the system to finally work its way and intuitively, because the body is working in this kind of intuitive sense, right? Your body has a knowing of how to heal itself. It takes time. But what we've been trained to and what we're now tapping into energetically, which is interesting that I'm learning something as they're experiencing this to me, is that because it doesn't happen in 2 days, we tune into this will never happen. The same can happen in the world because we've been praying for peace, or we've been praying for this, or we've been praying for that. Part of it is we have to have enough energy stoked in the engine for that to happen. So we need enough people doing that, enough energy contributing to it for that shift to happen. There's all these cosmic tumblers that need to happen for that shift to happen, and that takes time for someone to learn something, for someone to experience something so they have a deeper wisdom so they can move into that position. There's all these things, just like think about your body, because the earth is the same type of experience here. If we think of human beings as the billions of cells in your body, just they're trying to show a parallel here of everything that needs to happen, everything that needs to line up. There's the truth of that it does take time in this 3D, 4D, whatever you want to call wherever we are now experience. That is the reality of this place. And so don't lose hope and don't lose a vision because it didn't happen tomorrow. It will happen. So hold on to the belief that it will happen. I know this to be true in every fiber of my being. That is what's going to shift this all. All right, 2 more cards. I knew this card was going to come up. Energy balance, and the next one is change. Why is this card coming up? Because they showed it to me a couple times. Yeah, it's interesting because both of these, even though it's a balance point, look, he's in the center of everything, isn't? And it's a very balanced energy where he's standing between two types of energy, whether you want to call it dark or light or whatever, fall and summer, winter and spring. There's always that duality here. And the way that change happens is making sure that you're balanced in the midst of that. So going back to finding that inner peace, focusing on balance, balancing, and your blessings around you. So taking time to make sure that your energy is balanced, that the energy you're stoking that engine with is balanced, is clear as possible, is as high of energy as possible. It's really important right now that we slow down and we tune into self-care and what is best for our energy field. So again, we're bringing the best and the brightest energy forward into facilitating that change, making sure that we're balanced. That's the key right now. They said if there's any message for the month of October is making sure that you're slowing down, disconnecting where you need to, but being in balance energetically within your own self so you can contribute to that engine that needs to move forward. That you'll have energy to give it because when you're depleted in energy, you've got nothing to give. Um, Hold the balance. They're saying hold a balanced perspective as you're starting to see things transpire, and there will be a lot transpiring in the next couple months. They just said to me, hold on to your hats. You're going to be seeing a lot. There will be a lot, and there's already a lot going on. They're kind of smiling, and it's not like making fun of or anything. When I said there's a lot going on, they kind of said, well, there's always lots going on. And there is here for sure. But they do want to acknowledge it will be heightened in many ways, where it might feel energetically to your system very overwhelming. So making sure that we're balanced, making sure that we are energetically balanced, that there's self-care, so we can find a middle path, so we can find a middle perspective, so we're not drawn to one side or the other too far. Um, Again, they're saying you can be drawn to one side or another way too far. You don't want to sit in meditation 24/7 and disconnect from being human and the experience of being human, or you don't want to be pulled into the pain and the pain body and all of the devastation or trauma that's coming out to be seen and witnessed. So finding that middle path, finding that middle and higher perspective, I'm really drawn to this moon for some reason. There must be something happening energetically with the sun or the moon because it's partially covered. I don't know. I'd have to go and look, but there's something happening here that's shifting something. Something with a partially covered moon. I'll have to look astrologically on what's happening here in the next little bit, but find the middle path. Do your best to stay in the middle path, okay? Put those cards there. Let's go to a prayer card just for the last couple of minutes here because I've got to run. I've got a hair appointment with beautiful Joe. Um, Go and get my hair done. So you can see my grays are lovingly coming through. So I'll go get those dealt with. So back to a prayer for the collective, please, for all those that will be experiencing October that watch this video. What is the prayer that we most need to hold in our hearts? What is the prayer that we most need to help us navigate through October? I'm hearing another song, which usually happens. They work through music with me. I'm hearing this Demi Lovato song that I just learned. It's called You'll Be Okay, Kid. You'll be okay, kid. You'll be okay, kid. Um, Go play that song, please. I don't want to play it because I'll find it on my playlist. I'm pretty sure it's You'll Be Okay, Kid. It's by Demi Lovato, and it was part of a series that she did. Yeah, You'll Be Okay, Kid. If you have time, go listen to that song. And they said the reason they're giving that song is they want you to remember you'll be okay, that your inner child is safe, that everything will be okay, that no matter what is going on around you or what you've been through, you're going to be okay. And they want you to hold on to that vibration right now, please. So the prayer that came up is playfulness. I feel adventurous. I just heard stay open to the unknown. Stay open to possibility. Again, stay open to possibility. Let's see what it says. Change me, divine beloved, into one who is wildly open to the new. There you go. Free me from rigid patterns that no longer serve. Let me feel adventurous and spontaneous, knowing that the more I open to life, the more it opens to me. Isn't that beautiful? Stay open, stay adventurous, stay open to possibility. Change me, divine beloved, into one who is wildly open to the new. Free me from rigid patterns that no longer serve. Let me feel adventurous and spontaneous, knowing that the more I open to life, the more it opens to me. I have this vision of, maybe I'll take a picture of it and add it to this video. I have these two statues that I have where it's these little girls and they're just standing and they're open their arms to the universe. And that's what they're showing me, those statues of like, I'm open to possibility. I'm open to life showing up for me in the way that I envision. I know it to be true. I know I can be healed. I know the world can be healed. I know the world is a good place. I know I am supported in this good place. Believe it to be true. Stay open to possibility. Stay open to what the potential could be for yourself, for the collective. Be curious about what the universe brings to you when you let go of old belief systems, is what I just heard. So if you're open to that, holding that prayer, and maybe I'll take a picture of it and try to add it to the video, holding that prayer for the month would really be helpful, they said. Anything else they want to say before I tune out? Yeah, just hold on to hope. Remember your power. Remember your power. There's this card that's sitting here, and they keep having me look over at it. Power card. Remember how powerful you are. You're not a victim in any of this. You're not a victim in your experience. You never have been. You never will be. The world is not a victim. Mother is not being victimized. It's just experiences for growth, for potential, for change, for a heightened awareness, a heightened reality to come to truth. Not that it's easy to navigate all of these things, not that it's easy to navigate these tough times of loss. If we've lost someone or we've lost something in our lives that we've loved, or these experiences that are traumatizing to the collective or to yourself, they don't want to negate that. They don't want to push that aside. They want to fully embody that, encourage you to feel it, move through it, move into it, move out of it when you're done with it. And then hold on to a higher vision and higher potential for yourself and for the collective. Just because it doesn't happen today doesn't mean there's not potential for tomorrow. I want you to remember that, please. Okay, beloveds, as always, I send you lots of love. If you've listened this far, you may have noticed that I've put a few other dates out on sessions and they book within 5 minutes. So I'm doing my best to listen to my own heart and what my energy has and also be in service to you all. And please watch my Facebook and my Instagram. And as soon as those go up, reach out to me or get online and book those sessions. And hopefully I've got the energy to come and be in service to you more. So watch for those postings. Okay, I've got to run and enjoy the rest of my day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and the weeks remaining in October. Stay open to possibility. It could be glorious. Okay, much love to you. Bye.